Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing really well. Back today to talk about some of the goals that I had for my reading in 2024 and to look back over the year and think, did I actually achieve them? Now, a little bit of context, the reason that you're getting this video now and not either closer to the end of the year or at the beginning of 2025 is actually a tech related reason. There are hopefully going to be a few videos that are kind of these retrospective, looking back on 2024 in my reading. So things like best books of the year, most disappointing books, which in an ideal world I would be getting out towards the beginning of January, and I'd be filming them around the 31st of December, 1st of January, because you know the year is ultimately done. I'm actually filming this video in mid-December because I had finished editing and uploading a bunch of videos that I'd done for December and noticed like a little warning sign on my MacBook, basically the battery saying that it needed to be taken in for a service. So you know the laptop is not actually broken, but just giving me a warning that work does need to be done. This happened about 4 years ago when I was doing videos, and I remember when I took it to the Apple store, they ended up taking my laptop in to service the battery, and it was about a week that they had it. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Either the same will happen again and maybe it'll be a little bit longer than a week because it'll be over Christmas, or alternatively they'll look at my laptop, say, Charlotte, your laptop is 7 years old, maybe you should just get a new one. Servicing the battery isn't actually going to do it much good. So I wanted to prepare for either eventuality. And I love this time of year. These are my favourite kinds of videos to film, talking about the year in books, and I didn't want to have to push them off until mid-January. So you are getting them now, which does unfortunately mean that the last 2 weeks of my reading isn't accounted for, which is annoying. It's not the way that I'd want it, but I thought this was better than nothing. So just something to bear in mind for the next few videos. But without much further ado, let's just get into, did I complete my 2024 booktube goals? Let's see, shall we? Now, every year I like to set my Goodreads reading goal for reading 30 books. This goes back to 2014, which was the year that I really made it my New Year's resolution to get back into reading. Through the last 4 years of secondary school, I'd really felt my reading taking a nosedive. Even though I was taking English literature as an A-level, I really didn't actually read very much. Despite the fact that I knew that I loved it, I just really struggled to make time for it. And in fact, in 2013, I had only read 11 books, so I was so frustrated and annoyed with myself. I hadn't even managed to read 1 book a month outside of school reading. And so 2014, I was like, okay, this is my mission for this year. This is my main objective, my main resolution. I will read at least 2 books per month, and that will get me back on track with reading. Just before then, I had discovered BookTube and been completely swept away by seeing people talking about their book recommendations, and it really lit a fire under me to read more, and I actually ended up reading 79 books in that year. And even though I know that I can read way more than 30 books in a given year, I have since always set my Goodreads goal at 30 just to kind of tip my hat towards that original goal. As I say, there are a couple of weeks of reading that are not accounted for with this, but I am currently on book 95. So I've read 94 so far. For those of you who are curious, book 95 happens to be Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, so this might take me a little while. And even with this chunky book in mind, I am kind of looking at the number 94, 95 and thinking, oh, could I make it to 100 by the end of the year? Maybe I could make it to 100. We'll see if that happens, and I'll leave a comment down below if I do. But no, even though my reading pace has definitely slowed down compared to previous years, I am very happy with the books that I've been reading. I'm very happy obviously to have passed my goal of 30, but oh, hitting 100 would be nice, because then that would have been every single year since 2018 I've managed to read over 100 books. The second goal was kind of an addendum to reading 30 books, and that was that I wanted to read 30 great books in 2024 if possible. And for me, because I do engage the quarter-star ratings on Storygraph, would mean reading a book that was 4.25 or more stars. I find myself quite a stingy star rater. You know, I feel like it's quite easy to get a 4-star rating from me, but to get higher than that, I am a little bit more difficult to please. And I felt like I was reading a lot of good books, but not a lot of great books. And so I can tell you, in terms of my Storygraph star ratings, this year I read 7 books at a 4.25 star, 6 books at a 4.5, and then 2 books at a 4.75. So 15 new to me books were rated 4.25 or more. There were also 4 rereads that rated the same level. So 19 books total were great books in my opinion. And I was feeling pretty good about that. I thought that was definitely more than I'd read last year that were 4.25 or more. But then I actually looked back at my Storygraph for 2023, and the breakdown is as follows. In 2023, I read 6 books at a 4.25, 9 at a 4.5, 2 at a 4.75. So 17 new to me books were in that level, and then I had 2 rereads that were also in the 4.25 or more level. So once again, 19 books in 2023, 19 books in 2024. So despite what I had thought, we're basically looking at the same level of books being great. Goal number 3 was to keep a low TBR. I started 2024 with 18 books on my TBR. So, you know, pretty low levels already. I think the highest my TBR has ever been while I've been on Booktube is around about 69, 70. I'd managed to really claw it back down, but I wanted to get to an almost 0 TBR. The highest my TBR ever got in 2024 was around about 24, 25 books. I managed to hit a 0 TBR at the beginning of September. I made a real concentrated effort in August to really get my TBR down to 0. And now currently I'm sitting at 4 books, but do note this is pre-Christmas. I may indeed get some books for Christmas, but yeah, this is my TBR so far and I'm pretty happy with that. I just find having a 0 TBR gives me a lot of freedom and flexibility. I don't feel so tied down to like a previous self and their interest in books. I'm also managing to read a lot more out of the library. So yeah, it's really working for me so far. My next goal was to carry on with making individual book reviews. This is a goal that I had in 2023, and I did quite a few book reviews in 2023 where I was just talking about individual books, but I feel like it definitely tailed off towards the end of the year. Yeah, in 2023 I managed to do 10 individual book reviews, and I really wanted to make more. Maybe not that I'm doing every single book that I read as an individual book review, but definitely a good chunk that I have more to say than just like a little snapshot in a reading wrap-up. And so I'm very happy to say that this year I made 25 individual book reviews, those being for This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousins, Foster by Claire Keegan, Wolves of Winter by Dan Jones, In Memoriam by Alice Wynne, Mary or the Birth of Frankenstein by Anna Eckhout, The Temple of Fortuna by Elodie Harbour, Henry VIII, The Heart and the Crown by Alison Weir, Style and Substance by Bay Garnett, A Lady's Guide to Scandal by Sophie Owen, Love and Marriage in the Age of Jane Austen by Rory Muir, Herc by Phoenicia Rogerson, So Late in the Day by Claire Keegan, The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, the whole series by India Holton, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, Think Again by Jacqueline Wilson, Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, Graveyard Shift by Ml Rio, What You Were Looking For Is in the Library by Mashiko Aoyama, 18 by Alice Loxton, The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Karsten Henn, Why We Read, which was a collection of essays, Love Like Farms by B.K. Borison, Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane, and Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. So yeah, that actually comes to around about a quarter of my books I was doing individual book reviews for, so that feels really good. Then I have a couple of goals which are, you know people talk about SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. These are not that. These are very much vibe-based goals. And you can imagine how I was feeling at the time that I wrote these, which was, number one, become more organised and less of a flake. I think I was just feeling quite negative about how on it and organised I was being with my booktube videos. Towards the end of 2023, I'd taken a little bit of a break from doing videos. Just, you know, a little Christmas break. I'd been on holiday with my parents. I'd just moved house. So even though it was definitely the right decision to not do any form of Vlogmas that year, and I definitely did need a bit of a break, I just felt bad about it. I wanted to be very consistently putting out videos and I wasn't doing that. And so yeah, this year I feel like my videos have been a lot more consistent than they were in 2023. There have been some weeks I've managed to do 3 videos a week, though saying that, it's still very much a 2 a week situation. And I also feel like I've put less pressure on myself. A couple of months ago I actually decided to kind of do away with my normal schedule of Tuesday and Friday videos, and most of the time you will still see Tuesday and Friday videos from me, but more in the sense of like, I am not beholden to every single Tuesday and Friday having to post something. If I have a video ready, then amazing, but I do not have to be like, oh my god, it's down to the wire, I have to get a video out now. And that has meant that my video making is a lot more calmer, less stressful. It's better for me, and actually I feel like I've ended up making more videos as a result of not feeling like, oh my god, I have to get videos on this day and this day, and yeah, just not putting stress on it. This is meant to be a fun thing. My other not smart goal was to regain energy and positivity. I had noticed when I was looking at previous videos, and I noticed like a sharp difference in like my general vibe and how I seem to be coming across in like 2020, 2021, where I felt like I was a lot more bubbly, I was a lot more excitable, my voice sounded a lot lighter. And then 2022 onwards, I could just notice in myself that I looked a bit tired, and I think it wasn't to do with making videos at all. It was just how I was generally feeling about life was seeping through into my videos. And especially I think with the previous goal, when you in the back of your mind are thinking, okay, I have to get videos out on Tuesday and Friday, and therefore I have to make them on these days, which means I can only make them at this time, but actually trying to force like a happy go-lucky demeanor, it's a little bit hard to do when you're not exactly feeling that yourself. And that made me sad because I love doing these videos, but I don't think that I myself was feeling all that great, and therefore maybe it showed up in the videos. I don't think I was like a very negative presence on booktube, but I think I was just more of like a bland, neutral self. Particularly in 2023, I wasn't feeling my best health-wise. That definitely seeped through. There were some aspects of my living situation that I wasn't really enjoying. I felt quite tense while filming because I was on a floor with two other people, one on this side of the wall and one on this side, and so whenever they were also working from home with me, I was very self-conscious while making my videos about people being able to hear me. And you know what changed in 2024? Well, firstly, I moved house at the end of last year, and I think that has definitely helped. Currently, I share a wall with only one person, and that one person tends to work from their office, and typically I am the only person working from home. So when I am filming videos on a lunch break, nobody is here to hear me. I just generally feel a bit calmer, a bit happier, and I'm hoping that comes across in my videos. And then the final goal that I had for 2024 was to reach 3,000 subscribers. As of January the 1st, I had 2,760. So that felt like quite an achievable goal, though it isn't necessarily one that I can control myself. And I did manage to hit 3,000, I think either in September or October. So yeah, managed to do that. I don't know why I'm making it out like that was my achievement when I did nothing to control that. But you know, I'd been staring at 3,000 for a little while, so it was nice to cross it. Actually, I just realised I missed one of my 2024 goals, which was that I wanted to reread old favourite books. I talked a lot in 2023 about wanting to eventually in 2024 do an all-time favourites video, but in order to do that, I wanted to reread a lot of the books that I have considered my favourite books of all time, just to confirm in my mind that they truly are my favourites. And so in my mind I was like, okay, maybe 1 or 2 books a month are some of those old favourites, kind of work them in with the rest of your books. And unfortunately, I am here to tell you that I did not complete this goal. I have only read one previous favourite, and that is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which I read right at the beginning of the year. So we're gonna have to address that. We're gonna have to bring that goal back. And in fact, there are quite a few videos that in my mind I wanted to film in 2024 and I just didn't do. I didn't make the time for them. I wanted to make a top 10 historical fiction novels of all time so far video, and I have that list, but I haven't done it. I talked a lot about a video that I wanted to do, which was 10 different depictions of Shakespeare in either books, film, theatre, TV. And I started making good headway on that at the beginning of the year. I was watching a lot of content for that. My list of 10 pieces of media that featured Shakespeare as a character ended up expanding to about 20, and suddenly I got quite overwhelmed. So yes, no progress has really been made on this goal since about March, but I do really want to do it because I think it'll be a fun video. I wanted to do a video about 10 books to read if you are a beginner to reading non-fiction history. Did I do that? No, I did not. I even brought those books from my parents' home to Oxford in the hope that this would motivate me, because I would see these books and I would want to pick them up and talk about them in a video, and I didn't do it. As well as doing all-time favourite books, I also wanted to do a lot of different all-time favourite books of various genres, and once again, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So in actual fact, when we're talking about me being more organised and less of a flake, well, I guess in terms of scheduling, yes, but in terms of me actually delivering what I have set for myself, less so. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. So yes, a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of my 2024 goals and whether or not I hit them. You know, some of them I'm very happy with my progress, and others, well, there's always next year. Do let me know what your goals were for 2024. Did you hit them? Are there any you're gonna have to transfer over to next year? Do let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.